The Interex were a human civilization that had achieved a remarkable level of harmony and sophistication, but they were also doomed to be destroyed by the Imperium of Man. Who were they, and what was their fate? In this video, we will explore the history, culture, and technology of the Interex, and how they came into conflict with Horus Lupercal, the War Master of the Emperor. We will also examine the role of chaos in their downfall, and how their legacy could have changed the course of the galaxy. Stay tuned for an in-depth analysis of one of the most fascinating and tragic civilizations in Warhammer 40K. Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel, where I explore the lore and mysteries of Warhammer 40K. In this video, I will talk about the Interex, a human civilization that had a unique and tragic history. The Interex were one of the many lost human colonies that had been separated from Terra during the Age of Strife, but they had managed to preserve a high level of technological and cultural sophistication. They had also developed a philosophy of coexistence and cooperation with alien races, such as the TerranBrah, a simian species that shared their society and technology. The Interex were a rare example of a human civilization that had achieved harmony and morality, but they were also doomed to be destroyed by the Imperium of Man, led by Horus Lupercal, the War Master of the Emperor. How did this happen, and what could have been different? What role did chaos play in their downfall, and how did their legacy affect the course of the galaxy? These are some of the questions that I will try to answer in this video, using various sources and evidence from the Warhammer 40K universe. If you are interested in learning more about the Interex, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. Also, please like and share this video with your friends and fellow Warhammer 40K fans. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on the Interex and any other topics related to Warhammer 40K. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. The Interex were a human civilization that existed in the 31st millennium during the time of the Great Crusade led by the Emperor of Mankind. They were one of the many lost human colonies that had been separated from Terra during the Age of Strife, a dark era of anarchy and war that lasted for thousands of years. Unlike most of the other human worlds that had fallen into barbarism or tyranny, the Interex had managed to preserve a high level of technological and cultural sophistication. They had also developed a unique philosophy of coexistence and cooperation with alien races, such as the TerranBrah, a simian species that shared their society and technology. The Interex controlled a region of space that spanned about 30 star systems. They had a democratic and peaceful government, led by a council of representatives from each world. They valued art, science, and diplomacy, and had a strong sense of history and tradition. They also had a deep awareness of the dangers of chaos, which they called chaos, and had dedicated themselves to fighting its influence and corruption. They had built a museum called the Hall of Devices, where they stored and studied ancient weapons and artifacts that had links to chaos, hoping to learn from them and prevent their misuse. The Interex first encountered the Imperium of Man when the 63rd Expeditionary Fleet, commanded by Horus Lupercal, the War Master and Primarch of the Lunar Wolves Legion, arrived in their territory after fighting a brutal war against the Megarachnids on the world of Murder. The Megarachnids were a vicious alien race that had been imprisoned on Murder by the Interex after a terrible conflict that had cost many lives on both sides. The Interex had stripped them of their spacefaring technology and left them to their fate, hoping that they would never escape or be disturbed again. The Interex welcomed Horus and his delegation with curiosity and caution, but also with respect and hospitality. They offered to share their knowledge and culture with the Imperium, and to establish a peaceful relationship based on mutual understanding and cooperation. They were impressed by the achievements and ambitions of the Emperor and his sons, but they were also wary of their militaristic and xenophobic tendencies. They feared that the Imperium might be tainted by chaos, or that they might unwittingly unleash its horrors upon the galaxy. Their fears were confirmed when Erebus, the first chaplain of the Wordbearers Legion, who had secretly turned to the worship of chaos along with his Primarch Lorgar, infiltrated the Hall of Devices and stole a TerranBrah blade called an anatham. The anatham was a powerful weapon that could kill even a Primarch by altering its molecular structure to match the victim's genetic weaknesses. Erebus intended to use it to wound Horus on Davin, a world where he would be exposed to the temptations of chaos. Erebus also rigged the Hall of Devices to explode, killing many Interex guards and destroying priceless relics. The Interex blamed Horus and his entourage for the theft and sabotage, believing that they were agents of chaos who had come to steal their secrets and destroy their civilization. They declared war on the Imperium and attacked Horus's flagship, the Vengeful Spirit, with their fleet. Horus managed to escape with his forces, but not before losing many of his loyal warriors in the battle. He was furious at the Interex for their betrayal and vowed to destroy them for their insolence. The war between the Interex and the Imperium was short but brutal. The Interex fought valiantly against Horus's legions, using their advanced technology and tactics to inflict heavy casualties on their enemies. Their warriors were skilled and brave, and proved to be worthy adversaries for even the Space Marines. However, they were ultimately outnumbered and outmatched by the superior firepower and ferocity of Horus's forces. The Interex were wiped out in a final assault on their capital world of Zenobia Principis, where Horus personally led his troops into battle. But could the Interex still be there in the current setting? Let's explore this possibility. The Interex were a human civilization that was wiped out by the Imperium of Man during the Great Crusade, after a misunderstanding and a betrayal by the Wordbearers Legion. However, it is possible that some remnants of the Interex could still be alive in the galaxy, hiding from the Imperium's wrath or seeking revenge for their fallen kin. Here are some possible scenarios. The Interex controlled a region of space that spanned about 30 star systems. It is unlikely that the Imperium was able to exterminate every single Interex inhabitant in every single world, especially if some of them had secret bases or hidden colonies. Some Interex survivors could have escaped the Imperium's notice and continued to live in isolation, preserving their culture and technology. They could also have formed alliances with other alien races, such as the TerranBrah, who were their close partners and shared their society. The Interex were aware of the dangers of chaos, which they called chaos, and had dedicated themselves to fighting its influence and corruption. They had built a museum called the Hall of Devices, where they stored and studied ancient weapons and artifacts that had links to chaos, hoping to learn from them and prevent their misuse. Some Interex could have been corrupted by chaos themselves, either willingly or unwillingly, and joined its ranks. They could have become followers of one of the chaos gods, or formed their own renegade factions. They could also have used their knowledge and technology to create new weapons and devices for chaos, or to unleash its horrors upon the Imperium. The Interex were a highly advanced civilization that had a high level of technological and scientific sophistication. They had access to warp travel, artificial intelligence, energy weapons, and other wonders that surpassed or rivaled the Imperium's. Some Interex could have used their technology to explore the galaxy, seeking new worlds and new challenges. They could have encountered other civilizations, such as the Tau Empire or the Necrons, and either fought or befriended them. They could also have discovered new secrets and mysteries of the universe, such as the Webway or the Black Library. The Interex were a proud and noble civilization that valued art, history, and diplomacy. They had a strong sense of identity and tradition, and a deep respect for their ancestors and heroes. Some Interex could have sworn vengeance against the Imperium for destroying their civilization and killing their people. They could have formed resistance movements or guerrilla groups and waged a covert war against the Imperium. They could also have sought allies among other enemies of the Imperium, such as the Eldar or the Orcs, and joined forces with them. These are some of the possible ways that the Interex could still be out there in the galaxy in the current Warhammer 40K setting. Of course, these are only speculations based on what we know about them from various sources. There is no definitive answer to this question, as the fate of the Interex is shrouded in mystery and legend. Perhaps one day we will find out more about them, or even meet them face to face. Until then, we can only imagine what they were like and what they could have been. The destruction of the Interex was a tragic loss for both humanity and the galaxy at large. The Interex represented a rare example of a human civilization that had achieved harmony with other intelligent species, and that had preserved its culture and morality despite the horrors of chaos. Their demise was also one of the first steps in Horus's fall to darkness, as he became increasingly bitter and resentful towards his father and his brothers. The Interex could have been valuable allies for the Imperium in its quest to reunite humanity under one banner, but instead, they became another victim of its ruthless expansionism. This concludes my video about the Interex. a human civilization that had a remarkable level of harmony and sophistication, but was also doomed to be destroyed by the Imperium of Man. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new about the history, culture, and technology of the Interex, and how they came into conflict with Horus Lupercal, the Warmaster of the Emperor. I also hope you found some of the possible scenarios of what could have happened to the Interex after their destruction interesting and plausible. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I would love to hear your feedback and suggestions on what topics you would like me to cover next. Also, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. I have many more videos planned for you, where I will explore the lore and mysteries of Warhammer 40K. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Until then, may the Emperor protect you.